This is a major turning point for the Boston Red Sox. Despite chaos ensuing over the last few games, the Red Sox have found a way to continue to not only win, but look damn good doing it in tough scenarios. I'm here to break down how, despite the lack of depth in pitching performances from our starters, it seems like the Red Sox bullpen has finally picked up where we all hoped they would this season. I'll break down really what has been going on and how they have survived this chaos over the last few days, all on this episode of Red Sox Digest. So let's break down all of that. But first, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down how the Boston Red Sox have really looked good despite being in very tough scenarios, just time and time again. Now, we're going to start this video by going back a few games with the Walker Buehler return, if you will. Now, if you don't know, Walker Buehler made his return from the IL after dealing with a minor injury against the New York Mets. And in doing so, he pitched 2 1/3 innings and then was ejected. And if you missed it, it was chaotic. It was just, it was craziness. It really was. Walker Buehler returns from injury. He comes back, and in the third inning, the top of the third inning to be exact, he is facing Francisco Lindor, a premier hitter in all of the MLB. He ends up hitting him on a backdoor slider, hits him on the foot. Lindor walks down the first base. He's now facing Juan Soto. In the process of facing Juan Soto, Walker Buehler delivers a pitch right down the heart of the plate. In the process, Francisco Lindor broke for second base and was able to tag second. He was able to steal second base in the process of Walker Buehler delivering that pitch. Chaos then ensued as Walker turned back around from second base to see if the tag was made and they were able to throw out Francisco. That was not the case, obviously, and when he turned around, he was greeted with 2 balls and 0 strikes. Where he then obviously returned, it was right down the middle. He repeated himself a few more times with an extra vocab word in there or two, and he ended up being ejected immediately by the home plate umpire, which you see in this classic photo down below. But then, obviously, Alex Cora came storming out of the dugout, where he was then quickly ejected just a few moments later, where then he broke the phone in the dugout. And really, it was just felt like a crazy moment for the Boston Red Sox. And despite only going 2 1/3 innings, Walker Buehler in 10 batters faced. Yes, the command wasn't great. Yes, the New York Mets were able to establish good at-bats against Walker Buehler. He only walked 2 guys, hitting 2 others via pitch. But again, he did not give up any runs. He did not give up any hits. And up to that point, he looked pretty good, especially for someone who is a veteran at this point and who was returning from an injury. Now, in those 2 1/3 innings, like we mentioned, he did walk 2 guys, he did hit 2 guys, but he also struck out 4 and again did not give up any earned runs. The bullpen then came in and played out the rest of that game, and 7 total guys pitched for the Boston Red Sox in this game, and in doing so, they ended up shutting out a very good New York Mets team 2-0 in that game. But the chaos did not end there. Now, the starting pitching in Walker Buehler, obviously departing was substantial, and it was a full bullpen game, it felt like, for an unearned reason, in the sense that Walker was then ejected. And because of that, the Red Sox had to immediately go to their bullpen early in a baseball game. And again, the Red Sox bullpen had been really picked apart over and over again over the last few weeks due to the 1-run games, the walk-off losses to the Detroit Tigers from Javi Baez, as well as other 1-run losses that the Red Sox had suffered. And really, the bullpen was catching the flack of the blame. Now, Walker went to Instagram as well as Twitter. We're going to highlight really what he said on both of those social media accounts, because it was pretty cool to see an ace bounce back like that and have the comments that he did. So on his Instagram account, he went on to post this photo as well as another. And in the caption, he went on to write, "Bullpen is full of savages. Brutal way to come back in. Horrendous spot to put those boys in. But huge win for the team. I'll be better. W." I'm sorry, the font is very tiny. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. But again, Walker Buehler on Instagram, leaving us in a good, really, mindset about what happened despite what actually took place. Now, another tweet from Jordan Moore, the same person who gave us this great photo of Walker Buehler in his dispute with the home plate umpire, went on to then post this video of Francisco Lindor, who obviously it posts the video of him getting hit. People are arguing that he leaned into the ball. Again, that is for your own really digression, if you will, and just make your own opinions on it. I'm not going to say Francisco leaned into that pitch and ended up hitting him on the back of his back foot, his back left foot, because again, he's batting from the left-handed side of the plate. Again, it is what it is. But this goes on to highlight how Lindor was standing on second base and was going like this, saying, throw him out, when that entire altercation with Buehler and the umpire was going on. Buehler went on to subtweet this video with saying, I wouldn't want me out there either. Sad thing is the bullpen is full of fucking animals. Tough choice. And again, that is from Walker Buehler on Twitter discussing really the gimmicks of Lindor and wanting Buehler out of there. It didn't result in anything positive for the Mets, as again, they ended up getting shut out in a team effort from the Boston Red Sox. And the chaos did not end there. Crochet was on the mound the following day against the New York Mets, the same team. And they ended up winning this game. The one out of the 3 games they did end up taking from the Boston Red Sox in a 5-1 victory over the Red Sox when they had Crochet on the mound. So what happened? Crochet was on the mound. How did the Red Sox not win? Well, he only went a 5 1/3 innings. He was then pulled after 85 pitches thrown. He gave up 5 hits, 1 run, which was earned, 1 walk, and 5 Ks to Garrett Crochet's line in this game. Overall, didn't look too bad. Liam Hendriks did come in relief and ended up taking the loss due to giving up 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, and striking out 2 in that 2/3 of an innings that he did pitch following the relief outing of the ace and Garrett Crochet. Now, there is no injuries to Garrett Crochet. Do not jump the gun. Do not panic. That is not the chaos that is ensuing amongst the Boston Red Sox right now. It's strictly just the fact that the starting pitchers cannot get deep in the games, and despite that, the offense as well as the bullpen has answered the call, and finally they are producing wins without relying heavily on long-tenured, very structured outings from these starting pitchers. Now, Nesson went on to post comments both by Garrett Crochet and manager Alex Cora that give us some insight on really what took place in this outing. I will say this is a quote from Crochet, but he went on to even apologize to Cora individually, I should say, not independently, because of his reaction when Cora approached him coming out of the dugout, knowing that he was getting pulled in the 5th inning. He used some expletives, if you will, some curse words, and simply was not happy about the idea of being pulled. Now, Crochet went on to say this post-game. Quote, I have a lot of love, respect, and trust in the front office and coaching staff here. It is what it is, not my call. I throw until the ball is taken out of my hand. I respect their decision. And that is the end of the quote from the ace of the Boston Red Sox in Crochet. So no hard feelings here, no disgruntled all-stars, if you will, in Garrett Crochet with this Red Sox organization. He is okay with the decision that Cora and the rest of this organization made in pulling him. And it seems like based off this quote from Alex Cora, this was something that was made up in the decision that was made up going into this game. Now again, highlighting Nesson on Twitter as they go on to quote Alex Cora saying, quote, today was one of those days that circled up, we're going to go short with him. For us to go where we feel we can go, we need him. Regardless of the situation, you've got to put the player first. And that, again, that is the end of the quote from Alex Cora discussing why they pulled ace Garrett Crochet so early into that game. It is a long picture here. It is not, hey, let's get through this month. It's, hey, let's get to October. We need Crochet post All-Star break. There's no reason to just totally ruin this arm and run his arm dry and let his arm fall off in May. There is no reason for it, and that's what Cora saw, and that's why they pulled him. 5 1/3 into the game, Hendriks came in relief. He ended up taking the loss due to the outing, and then Benny and Newcomb came in and cleaned up that game. Benny, pretty good, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, ended up getting out of that unscathed, and then Sean Newcomb, 2 innings of work, 1 hit, 1 run, it was earned, and then 2 walks, no Ks, ended up giving up 1 home run in those 2 innings of pitching for Newcomb. Overall, the Red Sox got through very tough situations. Both of their starters in back-to-back days, 2 of their 1 and 2 starter, if you will, both pulled before getting through 5 full innings, and despite that, they were able to really do good. Yes, they didn't win the game that Crochet was on the mound for a short stint, but again, they didn't get absolutely hammered. Outside of Liam Hendriks, the overall bullpen performance was really, really good in the 3-game series against a very scary New York Mets team. Now, it didn't end there. Obviously, the Red Sox would go on to play the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Game 1 was delayed. They were supposed to have a doubleheader on the 23rd because the game on the 22nd was then delayed and postponed. On the 23rd, they were supposed to play a doubleheader. They only played 1 game because the second game of the doubleheader was once again postponed. Now, in that game, Brayan Bello made a start And he, again, like another starter, the last two starters for the Red Sox, did not finish 5 innings of work. He ended up going 4 innings, giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk, 7 Ks. And through the first 2 innings, Bello was phenomenal. He struck out 5 of the first 6 or 7 guys he saw, but he could not end up putting that together for the entirety of the ball game. Ended up getting pulled through 4 innings, and the rest of the bullpen went to work once again, including Abraham Toro, a backup first baseman for the Red Sox, because, well, the Red Sox offense really found a groove here and ended up putting up 19 runs on the Red Sox. And despite Bello not going through the entirety of the game and turning it over to the bullpen, the Red Sox were just fine. Overall, succeeding through a lot of chaos despite the opponent, despite the overall situation they're going through. They have been very competitive. They have been very, very good at the game of baseball in all facets. It's been really fun to watch. Make sure to go check out the last video on Red Sox Digest on a brand new update on Alex Bregman's injury and who is being called up in exchange for him. We'll break down all of that. We did break down all of that on the last episode of Red Sox Digest, so make sure to go check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.